Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the much awaited, highly anticipated Toyota Urban Cruiser Hyryder. And I was very excited to drive this car because in today's context, the fuel efficiency is taking more and more prominence in people's mindset, and in that context, this car will break new ground. And let me start by saying that this car has not disappointed me at all. This is an exceptional powertrain in terms of the fuel efficiency that it delivers. But I'm going to let you know everything that is to be known about this car in terms of its ride, in terms of its handling, in terms of its refinement, NVH levels, everything that you want to know, the features, the variants. But you need to stay till the end because at Motoroids we do the most comprehensive reviews of all the cars and bikes. So let's start off by understanding what exactly is this platform. And unlike the earlier cars which were shared between Maruti and Toyota, this car is jointly developed. So this platform has been jointly developed by Maruti Suzuki and Toyota. And the TNGA engine that you have here is designed to deliver the most amount of fuel efficiency. Now this is different from the 1.5 liter K series engine that you have, which Maruti employs on the Brezza as well as the XL6, etc. This engine is entirely new and is supposed to work in tandem with a small battery which is 1.7 kilowatt hour in size and is capable of propelling this car on EV power only for up to 4 kilometers if the battery is fully charged. So on EV mode, this car can move till up to 4 kilometers. Now let's understand what exactly are the figures here and how they match up with the K series engine. So the TNGA engine that we have here standalone produces 92.4 PS at 5,500 RPM and 122 Newton meters of peak torque between 3,800 and 4,800 RPM. Now, if you match it with the 80.2 PS which the battery provides, you will get a combined power output of 115.5 PS and a peak torque of 141 Newton meters, which, if you compare it with the K series engine, is more by 15 PS and the torque is more by 6 Newton meters. So how does that translate into real world performance? Now you have driving modes also here. You have power mode, you have eco mode, and you have the normal mode. And in the power mode, this car will launch itself from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 12 seconds, which is a respectable time because the numbers, if you go to see, are not very impressive, but the acceleration is not bad at all. If you go to eco mode, the same speed will be achieved in about 15.5 seconds. So there is a difference in performance, but of course in eco mode the fuel efficiency will go up. In the eco mode, the dial will light up in blue color. In power mode, it will light up in red color, and in the normal mode you will have this teal or light green kind of a color here. You also have this EV mode, and if the battery is fully charged from a standstill, you can put it in EV mode and you can drive it around for a couple of kilometers. So that is also an option. So that is about the performance, not too bad, but this is not a sporty car per se. It comes mated with an e-drive transmission, which essentially is what Toyota is calling a CVT, which essentially is a CVT, and of course you have motors which propel this car. So this car keeps transitioning between hybrid mode, where the battery as well as the engine work in tandem, purely the EV mode, as well as just the engine if the battery doesn't have enough charge. So the switch over is so smooth, you would hardly ever come to know of it, and that really is the beauty of this engine and transmission system. The electric power comes in very silently, and all of this works very beautifully to enhance the fuel efficiency, which, by the way, is really something to talk about. The rated efficiency on this car is 28 kmpl, and you would be able to achieve that, which is phenomenal for such a big car. In this segment, no other petrol car can come even close to that number, and that really is going to be the biggest USP of this car, because I drove it for about 100 kilometers today, and throughout this car maintained 20 kmpl plus even when I was thrashing it. This car can really deliver up to 30 kmpl if you're driving on an open highway and if you're not in a rush. Even if you're not driving it very carefully, even if it's partially a stop-start traffic situation, you would be able to get 23-24 kmpl. Even within the city with stop-start traffic, you should be able to get about 18 to 20 kmpl, and those numbers are mind-bogglingly good for such a big car. I really believe that those who are looking for efficiency and economy are really going to go crazy after looking at how well this car performs in terms of fuel efficiency. So that really is the USP. Now, if you look at the transmission here, it's a CVT, and you have P, R, N, D and a B. So D is the normal drive mode, and the B mode that you see here is the brake mode, where the regenerative braking is enhanced. So if you're driving B mode, when you lift off the throttle, the braking happens automatically to an extent, and you won't really have to apply the brakes if you have to stop after a certain distance. So it complements the braking and enhances the battery recharge, and that of course enhances your efficiency also. So if you don't want to be coasting, if the car braking itself to a certain extent is okay by you, putting it in B mode is going to enhance your efficiency as well. Now, in terms of refinement and the performance of the transmission, sure, this is a CVT and it shows that it's a CVT. It's not the slickest, the fastest or the most silent of the powertrain systems, but it responds beautifully well to small throttle inputs or part throttles. Even from a standstill, when the battery is charged, the acceleration is instant, because this is an EV when it's starting off, and it really just takes off. So the response from the throttle is really good, and the part throttle response is also very good. As I mentioned, it's seamless since it's a CVT, and you won't really feel the ratios being changed constantly. However, when you put the pedal to the metal, you do start getting some engine and transmission noise inside the cabin. And here, if you look at the instrument console, you have the charging, eco and power indicators. So charging is when you have lifted off and the batteries are charging, so it's perfectly smooth there. When you go to part throttle and it's within the eco mode also, you cannot really make out the engine noise, but the moment you want to go to the power mode, the transmission makes itself a little bit more evident, and that's where a little bit of noise starts coming in. It's not a deal breaker at all, but it's not as silent or as refined when you want to put the pedal to the metal as compared to your more refined torque converter or dual clutch transmissions. It's not a sporty car, let me be very honest about it. It's oriented more towards comfort and efficiency, and the suspension is really beautifully set up. It gets a McPherson strut front, and it gets torsion beam at the rear. So the suspension is tuned towards comfort, and it really does a great job of it. Over bad surfaces, it does insulate you very well. There is no vertical movement, there is no jarring thuds, and it is really very comfortable. However, when you're driving it in a straight line and you want to change lanes like so, you do feel a little bit of wallowiness, because the suspension has been tuned towards comfort. And the suspension here is not like Euro cars where it's very firm. It's slightly wallowy, but in terms of comfort, it does nail it. In a straight line, it is stable till fairly above 100 kilometers per hour, but it's not a sporty car, as I mentioned. If you want to be throwing it around corners, this car has a fair amount of body roll, and it has to be driven with some restraint. It's not a car that begs to be driven very hard. So you have to understand that this is a car which is meant for the family, for the comfort, and it's generally quite stable, very stable. It also gets all 4 discs, so the braking is also very strong. However, it's not a sporty car, and if that's the kind of a car that you're looking at, then probably this doesn't fit the bill very well. Probably be looking at a Euro car. But having said that, it has a pretty stable set of 4 wheels, and it responds to directional changes pretty well within that framework. Now, having said that, the steering here is not dead at all. Unlike the Brezza, which has a completely inert steering, the steering here has some life. It's very light, but it's not dead. There is some precision to it. There is some bit of feedback coming in, but again, it is not the heaviest or the most feelsome steering wheels that you have, but it's not dead either. It's fairly quick, and I don't mind it, but it's not too enjoyable, but it's not dead either. Overall, a very comfortable car, but not meant for the out and out enthusiast, but absolutely amazing when it comes to the fuel efficiency. Refinement could probably have been a little bit better. You can also see the energy flow. So whether the battery is being drained to power the drivetrain, or whether the braking is charging the battery, the flow of the energy is shown very clearly here. In terms of insulation, a pretty good job. You don't get any ambient noise coming in. You don't have any tire noise, any wind noise up to the speeds of 130 kilometers per hour. Very mild wind noise comes in after about 130, but I believe that for this segment they have done a good job of insulating this car, and you really don't get any noises coming in from the outside. So a good job by Toyota in terms of insulating this car as well. Overall, a very refined experience overall, unless you want to be mashing the pedal where the sound of the engine and transmission comes in. But the fuel efficiency, oh boy, this car is going to take the rest of the products in the segment for the cleaners if someone is really looking for the fuel efficiency. This hybrid system really works, and that really is the biggest USP of this car, and it is going to pose a serious challenge to the established players in the segment. Now, I have done a detailed walk around of this car before as well, and you have seen this car before as well, but still, since this is a review and many of you would be coming here for the complete information, so I'm going to talk about the design as well. And as you can see, this face is a mishmash of many elements. I cannot say that this is the most handsome looking face, but it doesn't look bad either. But I can definitely say that this probably is not the best looking car in the segment, but still there are some really nice elements to appreciate here. This bonnet has this slight bulge here, and this slat here over the grille is made of faux carbon fiber with this chrome element Toyota badging here. DRLs, which are twin units and double up blinkers as well. You don't have any fog lamps, you have an LED projector headlamp which is replaced by traditional lighting units in the lower variants. As you can see, there is chrome lining here as well, and there are quite a few cuts and creases here. A grey skid plate right here, and the primary grille is a honeycomb mesh design and is at the lower end. You also have this slot, and as I mentioned, it does look decent, but it's not the most sophisticated design. The great thing that you have here though is that you have a camera unit. It's a 360-degree camera, and you can also specify this car with front parking sensors if you so wish as an accessory. What do you think about this face? Do let me know. I would really like to know as to what you think about this car's design from the front. Now, coming towards the side, you would see that this car looks a little longer than the Creta and the Seltos, and that's because it actually is the longest car in this segment, and it really has its bearings on the cabin space. Although the wheelbase is lower by a minuscule 10 mm, this car is the same height as the Seltos and Creta, and it's wider by 5 mm. But in terms of length, it's longer by 65 mm, which is quite a difference. In terms of colors, this blue here is one of the many colors you have. So you have 6 monotone colors and 4 dual tone colors. Monotone colors include white, silver, grey, red, midnight black, cave black and blue, and the dual tone colors are red black, silver black, blue black and white black. The dual tone colors are available only with the top of the line V variant. And to appreciate a few more details, the wheel arches are squared off, you have cladding all around, and the ground clearance, although it's not been specified yet, I understand that it's about 200 mm or more, which is sufficient to go over some really bad roads. Another great thing is that this comes with a 17-inch wheel even on the base variant, although the base variant has a steel rim, but you get these beautiful machine cut alloys here with 215 section Apollo Aptera tires, all disc brakes, which is great for braking. You have this black roof here in this two-tone trim and a silver roof rail. Another great thing that you have is that the sunroof here is panoramic, and the glass pane goes all the way back up to here, which makes it one of the biggest openings in this segment, and this sunroof is one of the best. This shark fin antenna also is standard on all trims, which again is fantastic. The ORVM is black here with these blinkers, hybrid branding, this chrome lining on the waistline. The door handles are body colored, but you won't get them in chrome. Coming towards the rear, you have this small quarter panel which enhances the sense of light and space inside. This little spoiler with this high mount LED stop lamp, rear wash and wipe, and while the brake lights are LEDs and are laid out horizontally, the rest of the lights, which are the blinkers and the reverse light, are laid out in a vertical stack. You don't have any rear fog lamps here. Just like the front, you have this grey skid plate, rear parking sensors, and you also get this camera unit here. The camera here is one of the best in the segment, and then to add a touch of class and premiumness, you have this chrome slat as well. Now, before I take you inside the cabin, you would definitely be interested in knowing how much space we have here, And since this is the strong hybrid version, the battery pack, which is sitting right here, takes up a lot of space. And with this battery pack and this tray in place, the space that you see here above this space is 255 liters. And if you calculate the space underneath, which is this space and this space, which right now has a lot of tools, you would have another 50 to 55 liters. So in all, you will have 300 liters plus of space, which is definitely less than the other cars because of the battery pack. But if you go with the K series engine, you will have additional 50 liters of space, a total of 355 liters for the K series engine, but it's still less than the Creta and the Seltos, which have 433 liters of boot space. I think this is sufficient for a family of 4 to go for a short holiday, but if you're going for a long holiday, the space is going to be a bit of a problem. You also have a 12-volt power socket here, and the illumination duties are taken care of by this little light here. The seats are 60-40 split, so if you are only 3 of you traveling, you can carry more baggage in the loading area. Looks, of course, are subjective, and I would really like to know as to what you think about the Urban Cruiser Hyryder, and I would really like to know what you think about its styling. Time now to get inside because it's loaded with some class-leading features. There are some features missing also, and I'm going to let you know all about them. Let's get inside. Now, before I get inside, let me just let you know that there are 4 variants in all: E, S, G and V, where V obviously is the top of the line variant, but within that also, if you're going with the hybrid, the V variant has more features, so you need to keep that in mind. Some features are exclusive to the hybrid V variant. I'll try to let you know everything, but maybe I'll miss a few things. But be mindful that the K series and hybrid V variants are not equal for some features. Now, once you open the door, you are welcomed by this leatherette upholstery. The plastics above and below are hard plastics, but it's very functional. You have this big water bottle holder here with map pockets, door lock and unlock, electric folding ORVMs. Driver side window glass is auto up and down, one touch, and ORVMs of course are electrical. Now you need to understand that this upholstery that you see here is leatherette only in the top of the line variants. For the lower variants, you will have fabric upholstery in brown and black. Now, as I mentioned, some features are there only in the hybrid V variant, and these include the HUD ventilated seats, tire pressure monitoring system. The hybrid variant also gets special speakers which are better sounding. You don't get those speakers in the basic V variant. Again, wireless charging is something that you will get only in the G and V variants of hybrid only, and also the drive modes that I showed you are also there only in the strong hybrid variant. Now you get this seat height adjust. The ride height for the car is about perfect, maybe slightly high for the shorter ones, but for me it's just about perfect. A push button start, keyless entry, you won't really have to take the key out of your pocket. Then this array of buttons should be familiar to you. We have seen this before in some Maruti cars, and this one here is for the HUD. The screen goes up as you press the HUD button, and with this the 360-degree camera comes in play, and it's essentially the same unit with the same resolution. Looks fantastic. Now this is quite a high resolution camera, and you can change the view if you so wish. Wide view along with the front left wheel, and you also get cross traffic alert for the rear, and you can change the view by pressing this button here, and you can have a look at the 360-degree view from the inside as well if you so wish. This feature is available only in the V variant, and this is the 9-inch touchscreen unit. You will get a 7-inch touchscreen unit on the lower variants. This also gets wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is a great feature to have. And in addition to all of that, you get a lot of information here. You also get capabilities where you can remotely start or stop the car, manage the temperature by controlling the AC, remotely control the immobilizer. You can check the vehicle stats, and you also have a remote Find My Car feature. So all of those connected car features are there. Now this instrument console that you see here also is different, and for the lower variants you'll get a 4.2-inch unit, while for the top of the line variant you'll get this 7-inch unit. I think this resolution could have been a little bit better, but it's loaded with information and it's pretty intuitive to use as well. Now the quality of the dash here is not soft to touch, but you do get this soft to touch leatherette material here with contrasting stitching, silver inlays, and a lot of chrome inlays as well on the steering wheel as well as on door pulls. So there are a lot of quality materials used, including that on the steering. You have this leather wrapped steering wheel as well. You also get voice commands where "Hey Toyota," is the keyword. You have a limited number of functions that you can perform, and you can say cancel to take it back off again. Now the AC vents are also quite nice, and you have these silver accents on them. You get automatic climate control. This is a button for traction control. One USB socket and another 12-volt power socket. You get wireless charging. And as I mentioned, you get drive modes and EV mode. Ventilated seats are here, but they are only on the top of the line hybrid V variant only. You get 2 cup holders, and this sliding armrest is a standard fitment on all the variants, which is amazing. And there's a lot of space inside as well. Another small feature that's missing is that the glove box is not cooled, but it's a decently sized glove box and is quite usable. You get auto dimming IRVM. This sunglasses holder, I think there should have been a little bit more cushioning inside because this is going to spoil your glasses. You get illuminated passenger side vanity mirror and an illuminated mirror on the driver's side as well. Now this sunroof also is a has a one-touch operation for the blinds, and then you have to push that button once again to take the glass pane all the way back. It opens a lot more than the other sunroofs in the segment, and if you want to just tilt open the glass, you have to push it and push it back again to bring it back again. So if you just want to use the ventilate function, just press once and press again to bring it back on, and then you just have to press it once to take the glass pane all the way back, and just see how big an opening it is. About these seats, I really think that the foam here is of better density and quality than some other cars in the segment, and I really like the seats here. The thigh support is adequate, although it can be a little bit more, but I'm not complaining. These are very, very comfortable seats with very good bolstering. Should be very good for long distance driving. One of the better seats I have seen in some time. Good quality foam and good support. The steering is also tilt and telescopic for all the variants, which is amazing. The seat belts are also height adjustable, so that again is a good feature. You'll also get cruise control here, and on the K series automatic you'll get paddle shifters. You don't get paddle shifters here, but you'll get that on the other automatic. You also get a PM 2.5 filter, which means that this can protect you from not just pollens and pollutants, but also from virus to an extent. You also get ambient lighting in single blue color, and you can control that using the voice commands or through this instrument console. Now as far as the sound goes, top of the line G and V variants get 4+2 speakers. That's 4 speakers and 2 tweeters. Also for the hybrid V variant, you get special speakers which sound better. So the sound is also better on the hybrid V variant as compared to the K series V variant. For the lower variants, you'll get only 4 speakers. Now while it's very well equipped, I really cannot complain about the equipment list here. It also gets a good safety suite with 6 airbags, vehicle stability control. It gets a 360-degree camera. You can also specify it with front parking sensors, rear parking sensors are there. HHC hill descent control for the AWD variant. But in terms of the feel of the cabin, I think it could have felt a little bit more premium. I think the quality of plastics in some places feels a little bit tacky, and it could have been a little bit better. I'm not saying it's bad, it's pretty good, but it's not the best in segment. And in that sense, this cabin could probably have had slightly more premium material. So that's my only gripe. But in terms of the features that this cabin has, it really sets new standards, and it really is amazing because it's offering you some new features that other cars in the segment don't have, like the HUD. Time now to go to the back seat, because this is a very comfortable car, and for the back benchers it has some special aces up its sleeve. Let's go there and find them out. Now the materials at the back are in line with what we saw up front also. Hard plastic here, but leatherette with contrasting stitching here. Chrome door pulls, piano black, and space for a 1-liter water bottle. The seat height is also just about perfect, and as you can see, there is ample and more knee and leg room here. There is a lot of space underneath the front seat as well, so that really enhances comfort, especially for the tall ones amongst you. There is a lot of space for your leg to move around, and I really think that this is going to help you during the longer journeys. The thigh support is also good, and as I mentioned, Just like the front, the foam quality here is pretty good, the density is good, and this really is going to enhance your comfort again, because the suspension is also tuned on the softer side and is very comfortable. Now, some special things about this back seat which its competitors don't have is the seats have a reclining function, and you can adjust the seat angle like so. So the recline angle at its most reclined level is quite good, and it should enhance your comfort over longer journeys. Another great thing, you have proper 3-point seat belts for all 3 passengers. You get 3 proper adjustable headrests. Needless to say, in this segment, ISOFIX child seat mounts have become the norm, and the Urban Cruiser Hyryder does not miss out on that. You have these seat back pockets also, which are very useful, and for whatever you have, a newspaper or a cell phone or even a bottle, these will swallow them without any problem. So this seat does try to present itself as one of the most comfortable in the segment, and quite a lot of pain has been taken to make sure that this is one of the best in class. It's also 60-40 split and gets this armrest with 2 cup holders, is pretty wide as well, so that the elbows or arms don't rub. And I quite like the contouring on these seats as well. This perforated leatherette material also looks quite nice, and I can pretty safely say that this is one of the most spacious and comfortable seats in this segment. And with this big panoramic sunroof, it also enhances the sense of space. You get a rear AC vent along with 2 charging sockets. One of these is a type C, another one is a normal USB socket, and you have some more space to spare here. 3 people can sit abreast for short to medium journeys, but in terms of equipment, with the 3 headrests and a proper seat belt, I think that Toyota has left no stone unturned in keeping the back benches comfortable. You also get these 2 handles with a coat hook on this side and 2 separate reading lights as well. All in all, if you are going to be driven in the back seat, then you really have to consider this car very seriously, because this is one of the most comfortable back benches in this segment. Now, if you look at all the cars in this segment, every car has its own unique selling points. For example, the Aster comes with ADAS, and the Creta comes with some really nice interior features. The Seltos looks really nice. But in today's context, when the fuel prices are going through the roof, I really believe that a lot of people are inclined towards cars which are big and premium, but don't burn a hole in their pocket when they run it for long distances. So in that context, this car makes a huge difference in terms of the economy that it offers. And as compared to, say, a 1.4 litre turbo with an automatic, this car delivers almost double the fuel efficiency, which is saying something. So if you're looking for economy, I really believe that you would be inclined towards this car. It's a very practical car, very spacious, and in terms of features also, you cannot really fault it. Now, generally, people have this perception that Toyota prices their cars much higher than the other cars in the segment for their reliability and low cost of service and whatnot. But this time, when I talked with the Toyota officials, they told us that they are here to break that perception, and this car will be aggressively priced. For the K10 variant, I'm hoping that they price it from 10 lakh rupees onwards, and the loaded hybrid V variant should go up to 18 lakh rupees. That should be fair to me. Maybe a lakh or 2 here and there would still be acceptable, but beyond that, people will really have to think as to how much money they are saving with the fuel, because the running generally is not very high with petrol car buyers. But if they price it aggressively, this car is going to attract a lot of buyers, because it's very comfortable, very practical, very spacious, and comes with the legendary Toyota brand, which brings along reliability and low cost of ownership as well as great resale value. Talking about that, you get 3 years, 1 lakh kilometers warranty with this, which can be extended to 5 years, 2,20,000 kilometers. Along with that, you also get 8 years warranty on the battery, and Toyota says that 8 years warranty is just to give you the peace of mind that you want, knowing that your car's battery not going to go anywhere and you won't have to replace it. They say that the battery will actually last the life cycle of the car much longer than 8 years. So while this may not be the sportiest car around, it is one of the most practical ones. In the premium segment, it oozes efficiency, and I really believe that if Toyota prices it well, they would really create ripples in this segment. I hope that I was able to answer all your questions pertaining to this really important product. Still, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll be very happy to answer them personally. And just to let you know, we do a lot of hard work in bringing these really detailed reviews to you. So if you like good quality, long format content like the one that we create for enthusiasts as well as buyers, do hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids, do let your friends know about us. And until next time, this is Amit Changani, your friend, signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.